Good morning. It is Wednesday morning. Right now it is 9:14, and I just wanted to take some time and just kind of reflect and honor everybody who gave their life and sacrificed being a hero. You know, I've seen a lot of posts this morning on social media. Today's the 18th anniversary of 9/11. Whenever that happened, I remember I was in the 10th grade. I think a lot of people remember exactly where they were, what they were doing. I was in the 10th grade in science class, first period, and one of my buddies came in and said that they heard on the radio that there was an incident, that happened in New York, and we didn't really have social media back then. I didn't have a Facebook. Facebook wasn't even around, and we didn't realize how big it was until more news came in, and we saw that somebody turned a TV on and they were sending kids home, and man, it's just something that I definitely want to take some time and reflect on. It's still tough to talk about, if I'm being honest, but there's so many people who sacrificed their lives that day. There's so many people that, their dad or their mom didn't come home that day, and it's tough to talk about, but it's important to talk about because we have people that run towards the issues whenever there's a problem. I saw a video that somebody shared this morning, and in the background somebody said, "Come on, guys, it's some firefighters." And they just start running towards the issues. They start running towards the problem. They're going to go and be the person who is going to go and try and save lives. And there's people that are out there today, our first responders. There's people who are out there that are still doing that. Every day, whenever there's an issue, they run towards the problem. You don't run away. That's that's my first, my reflex. Hey, if there's something that happens, oh my goodness, I'm going to run away. But I think it's very important to even today, take time and say thank you to police officers, firefighters, first responders, the people who work the ambulances in our area that they run towards the issue. That's not natural, and y'all are some heroes. And I just wanted to take time and reflect on all those people that sacrificed it all. Even civilians, they went to work that day, and there were some people who were heroes as well that probably didn't think about themselves and tried to help others get out. But it was a cowardly event. It's tragic. It's something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. And I can only hope to be like a quarter of a person that some of those people are who sacrificed by the end of my life. So good morning to you. It's 9:16. This is KHEA Radio. Today we have some guests that are coming in. We have Ron Carter in League City, our good friends there. We're also scheduled to have the Texas City Lamarck Chamber of Commerce. We're going to try and spread some positivity today. We're going to do it in a way that I feel hopefully will be honoring. It's going to be an interesting show, but I love you guys. Thank you for taking the time to tune in. Feel free to share this video out. There's a lot of stuff that we have going on. There's a lot of stuff that we have going on in our area, and we're going to be touching on that stuff. We're going to be touching on that stuff today. It's going to be a good one. But one thing I do want to mention, it's kind of funny, but we've been teaming up with the United Way, and we have an event that's coming up October 12th. If you want to be involved, we'd love to have you. It's our Taco Taco Cook-Off. That's going to be on October 12th. There's 29 partnering agencies in our area that the United Way, they help keep them going. We've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of them, like the Boys and Girls Club. There's a facility right here in Texas City and Lamarck that helps people who need care daily. So that's the kind of stuff they do. Chris Delisandri, he is an amazing gentleman, and his team over there, including Leslie and everybody else, they do a lot. They do a lot for our area. So we're excited to be able to partner with them for that event. If you want to get involved, go to talkoftaco.com. If you want to learn more, do that. If you want to just show up and eat, that's cool too. So, hey, I'm going to say good morning to our friends that are here today. We got Lucy. We got Joe, Bettis. How y'all doing today?
Good.
Great.
How are you?
I'm glad y'all are here.
We're glad to be here.
Y'all's coffees look extra big this morning. Is that?
I was thinking they looked extra small.
It could be big. It could always be a bigger cup of coffee, right?
Absolutely. When you have a baby, yes.
Babies change everything.
Everything.
Yeah. What do y'all drink? Is it black coffee or is it?
I drink black coffee. She drinks a lot of stuff in hers.
Like a vanilla latte or something like that?
Well, actually, I did steer clear of those. I went 30-something years without drinking coffee until I started having babies. And I just can't help but put that cream and sugar in it. So
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. So I've been off caffeine in the morning for
Good for you.
man, going on 3 weeks now.
No more bangs?
No more. I haven't had. I've had a bang like in the afternoon, maybe like once every 3 or 4 days. But in the morning, I've just been on water. It's
Yeah.
tough. I'll say that.
Your Iron Den challenge was very inspiring. I actually am looking to do that. So
You should do it.
He's been 3 days eating clean, and I've been eating clean plus, not.
I feel you.
I'm trying, everybody.
Okay. Hey, before we go on the FM, I kind of took some time to acknowledge earlier that it's the 18th anniversary of the incident, 9/11 that happened in that tragic event. I was talking and sharing about, I remember I was in the 10th grade and I went to school at Abundant Life Christian School, and the news hit and we didn't really understand because social media wasn't around. There wasn't a lot of video instantly available, and then watching it on the TV. Do y'all remember where y'all were?
I do. Actually, I was in college, and the moment I approached our classroom, school was closed, and everybody was freaking out, and I had no idea what was going on because I was driving and listening to,
The radio.
and
There was no.
I was actually probably listening to
iPod.
a CD, which tells my age. So that's why I think I didn't know anything. I wasn't listening to the radio. I was driving. So I dropped my kid off at daycare early in the morning, went to college, and it changed everything.
Yeah. Where were you, Joe?
I was actually at a funeral of all places, and when they started saying what happened, it's just kind of embarrassing. But when they were like the World Trade Center got hit, I was, and I spent tons of time in New York. I've lived there for years. I was like, huh? And they
Like,
were
what's the World Trade Center? Yeah.
Yeah, they're like the Twin Towers. I was like, whoa, I was blown away. But we had to kind of shut up really quick because we were in a funeral. And in 5 minutes before this started, that's when they told us. So
Wow.
when I got out, the Pentagon, everything. But I remember going. It's funny what you say about the radio. Every single channel was on it, and I remember when I got back to the house, I turned the TV on, and ironically, Nickelodeon was on, and it was on the news was on Nickelodeon. And I was like, huh?
I remember
and
that.
I'm like flipping through the channels. It's on every single channel.
That's almost, I think when it hit, like, wow, like this is a huge deal. Whenever you turn on Nickelodeon and that's what they're covering, every radio station is focused on that.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was.
Wild. I'm glad we're acknowledging it, though.
It still is unbelievable to me.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with someone earlier, and it was interesting. They were just saying, like, I wonder, 20 years from now, I wonder 5 years from now, like, what is that going to look like? It's like, because we were there, we remember, but there's a generation that's a little bit younger. Maybe they weren't even born yet. That it's just a history book to them. And there's events like that I read in a history book, and it's just kind of like,
absolutely.
They'll have to make a movie about it. It's like Pearl Harbor.
And it brings it back.
Our generation can't understand Pearl Harbor without watching a movie or seeing the whole story of it.
Yeah.
We can't comprehend it.
yeah. But then also doing it in a respectful way. You know what I mean? Because if someone made a movie and it's just like, man, are they just trying to make money on this? Or
Well,
like,
I don't think you could have a plot and have like characters. I'm
Yeah.
talking like the events of the day. But that's really the only way you can, because it was just crazy. We're talking about the Pentagon, and it was. But it's kind of cool now that people are talking about it a little more. Because I remember after like the third year, it seemed like it was just another normal day.
right.
Because you remember the first 9/11 afterwards was it was like America Day.
Right.
Everybody reflected. I don't think anybody did anything at school except for watch the footage and stuff like that. But now it's like 9/11 can kind of be just another day. You'll see some Facebook posts.
Mm-hmm.
But it was
It's
a
a crazy
time.
thought if you were actually there in New York City at the time it happened. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
That's.
I can't imagine.
I can't imagine either.
I had the opportunity to go, the One World Trade Center. They built a new amazing building there, and it honors, the memories, and there's a lot of memorabilia, almost like a museum. So
It's underground. I've been to it.
Mhm.
I was actually there from start to finish.
when they started building
When
it.
they started building it. Because I have a lot of friends whose parents were in 9/11 or
Mm-hmm.
first responders.
So when were you there? What part of?
Oh, New York. I lived in New York from 2010 all the way to 2015.
And so you knew
consistently. So I knew tons of people that were part of 9/11. But
and a lot of people were probably affected in some way. Whether it's a family member or hey, maybe they were there. Or
oh yeah,
something.
I mean the whole city. I mean because if you, from a 15-mile radius, that smoke was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why so many people are still sick from it. That's one thing.
That's another thing I was gonna say.
So many people are still sick.
Cancers are coming out. I mean, that's what really just jerks my heartstrings. Is, a lot of people. There's lots of firemen who were 20 years old at the time now are diagnosed with lung cancer, and it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
So I just couldn't imagine. Prayers go out to all of us.
So right now we got 25 seconds. We're going to go on the FM as well. Joe, could you actually move that mic a little bit closer in front of you there? And then, that should be good. Say something.
Hello?
Perfect.
Hello.
Y'all sound great. Okay, here we go. Good morning. It's KHEA Radio. Right now it's 9:25 on a Wednesday morning. We've been streaming on social media. If you aren't following us on Facebook, feel free to do that. Search KHEA Radio on Facebook. And we've been, reflecting and talking about the events that took place 18 years ago on today. And so, just want to say thank you to even our current first responders, to everybody who's ever served in any form. We appreciate what you do. Thank you so much. And then everybody who made that ultimate sacrifice, and people who were affected and maybe didn't, who are still living but served on that day in New York or, wherever they were. Thank you again to you. But today, hey, we're joined by our friends at Ron Carter, Leak City. Good morning. How's it going?
Good morning.
Good. How are y'all?
Doing okay. It's pretty rainy out there, isn't it?
It is. I was a little bummed this morning.
Yeah. So I woke up and it's like thundering. It wasn't even raining yet, but it's just like thunder, lightning outside, and it kind of makes a mood for the day. Do y'all feel it?
Well, I at first was excited to get up, and then I was wanting to stay in bed.
I love rainy days.
Yeah.
When it's this
chill
time of year and it's hot.
Oh, it does cool it off.
A little bit, or it just makes it super humid. But it's nice. It's kind of like you don't have to wake up for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You do, but mentally you don't.
Oh, yeah. So, hey, we were at Ron Carter Leak City the other day, and we had the opportunity to check out a really cool vehicle. It was a Ram truck.
Right.
And one thing y'all had shared, because I remember growing up and it was like, hey, a Dodge Ram. But Ram's its own thing now, right?
Ram's
Correct.
something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what kind of stuff does Ram produce? Because I even saw a van. Like all of a sudden I see these sponsored like posts, and now I want like a Ram, not a Transit because that's Ford, but like one of those big old like Ram vans.
Oh, it's called a ProMaster. They use them for everything. Deliveries. People make motorhomes out of them. You can actually go to any motorhome place and they have them there. A lot of people that have 7, 8 kids. They have.
You got to get one.
We actually have friends that have one.
They're for everything, from people turn them into seafood trucks to just simple delivery trucks, and they come in all different sizes. But yeah, they make the ProMasters too.
That's cool. That's my dream. So my dream would be to have like a big old KHEA radio, like vinyl sticker, like on the side, and our gear can travel. Like we don't need that much room for it. But
you need this.
I do need that.
I see the excitement in your eyes. I can definitely make that happen.
Have that Ram ProMaster. I don't even know if I'm worthy of that. Like the name sounds pretty iconic. ProMaster.
I think you're worthy. Definitely.
Cool. And then what did we test drive that day? It was
a limited Ram 2019. So what did you think of it?
It was awesome. So on the inside, it has a screen that's about as big as my iPad.
12-inch radio.
Yeah. And then it also had some like stitching in the leather, and it looked really, it was pretty, very, not unique, but it was very specific. And I was like, man, I'm feeling this. It was very detailed and well done.
It's the most technology in any vehicle. I mean, you can go to any auto show. I mean, you can get inside of any luxury car, whether it's a Range Rover, an Audi, anything. Nothing's going to have a screen like that, and that sound system, the limited, nothing compares to it. I mean, I've been inside $100,000 cars that I'm like, we had this 6 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that kind of the trend with everything that y'all offer? Y'all always try and have the stuff that's coming out cutting edge?
We're trying to really gear towards a new market,
Mm-hmm.
and technology is everybody's market now. So having the best technology really puts us ahead of the game. You know, I mean, stuff that is 100% standard in our trucks is, you know, a luxury model in a lot of other ones.
Yeah.
So we got away from just saying, oh, well, this one has, you know, leather seats, you know. I mean, we have trucks that are fully loaded without leather seats. Some people don't like them, but we got away from just trying to make it look nice. We wanted it to do nice stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and it's so easy to navigate through the Uconnect system compared to other products, in my opinion. I mean, it's just very simple.
and a lot of our
Easy.
technology is European, so they're trying to make it where everything's voice command. 'Cause
Okay,
over
cool.
there, texting and driving, just you don't do it.
Yeah.
So I mean, anything, whether it's, you know, you're on the phone, you're like, oh, text Lucy or call mom, or, you know, even if you don't have the address to someplace, you can say, take me to Baybrook Mall. The truck can do it.
So the Uconnect system, that it just connects your phone to the vehicle, or what all does it do?
It does that. You know, you also have Apple and Android CarPlay, but the Uconnect, it can do a million things. When you download the app, you can unlock your car from your phone. If it's 100 degrees outside, you can start your car from your phone right in here.
Mhm. Track your vehicle.
Track your vehicle. If your vehicle's stolen, there's no way they can.
Could you shut it
disable
down? Like if someone does and be like, shut down the truck or something, or put it on lock.
You can have it shut down whenever they stop. If they're moving, you can't just shut
that
it
would
off.
cause an issue, like a wreck or something
Yeah,
potentially.
Probably.
Okay, yeah.
And then also just a lot of you have 2 years free roadside assistance, but what's nice is you have a 911 button and a roadside assistance button. But you know, like if you call, like, say AAA, and they're like, well, where exactly are you? And you're like, oh shoot, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, those people have your coordinates immediately. So they're like,
GPS.
okay, boom, they're right on you.
Yeah, that's a
And
lot
if
easier.
You have a 911 button, which hopefully you never have to use. It immediately contacts authorities, and they have your location.
Okay. Because I've been in situations where I'm pushing it, like I'm running low on gas. I know I'm on a road trip, and I was like, I'll stop at the next one. And then I don't know where I'm at. I'm in the middle of nowhere. And, hey, I ran out of gas, or you have a flat tire. And it's like, if I knew where I was, then I would have stopped back then when I knew there was an issue. You know, like I thought
That's
there'd be another
true.
spot.
And usually the Uconnect, not all of them, but most of them come with the travel link, and that's 5 years. You're going to get free. And on that travel link, you can actually map your gas stations. It tells you the closest to the furthest, the fuel prices, the phone number. So if you're out of town and you don't know where you're at, you could just hit your travel link, hit gas stations, and it'll let you know, all
That's
the gas
cool.
stations around.
Yeah. You know, technology is getting like scary good, and for some reason I still think I'm smarter than it's like, yeah, I got 19 miles to empty, but there's a gas station that's like 20 miles. You don't know what you're talking about. I can make it.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I'm
not.
so bad. I don't even utilize my Apple Watch or my iPhone. I do the bare minimum
Yeah.
that it does.
Hey, so
I'm gonna
there's
work on that.
there's always some cool stuff going on that you guys offer. And I was sharing with my friend Crystal earlier that it's like almost every week, every month, there's something special that comes out, and it almost is better than the last time, like every time.
Absolutely.
So what's going on right now?
We have a lot of great stuff going on right now. Right now, one of the best things is we're starting to get a lot of 2020s. So nothing's changed in 2020 with our product except for really slight things.
Gladiator.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, the Gladiator, but the 2020 Gladiator was out at the beginning of
Right.
19.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, we're pushing those 19s out. Everything's on sale on the 19s.
Okay, so the price may go
It's
better
gone down a lot.
on the 19s when
Yes.
the 20s come out.
Yeah,
Yes.
especially on certain ones like the Grand Cherokees and the trucks. They're doing some really
Yeah.
big stuff on those. Also, we are doing the KBB event this week where we're doing 5,000 over your KBB trade. So that's
We've
a big
had a lot
deal.
of success with that. It's great.
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's helped a lot of people out of bad situations because
Yeah.
a lot of people do a lot more on their car than it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, due to whatever reason. A lot of people didn't get the best deals after the hurricane, or they just had to kind of take whatever they can get, you know.
Mhm.
So it's helped a lot of people in that situation. Then a lot of people just, you know, in this area especially, we're all commuters. There's people that come in, their car's 2 years old, and they're like, well, I owe this much. I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound too bad. Then you go and they have like 80,000 miles, and you're like,
Right.
are you sure this is 16?
Yeah.
But and that's really common in this area, is high mileage drivers.
So is the Kelly Blue Book, is that kind of like one of the standards of seeing how much a car is worth?
It is
can
to the
be if you do it
community.
right. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people just kind of go in and guess their model. If you actually do it right, put your VIN number in, put your zip code, it works a little
The
better.
actual condition that it's in. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So
I gotcha.
absolutely, we do use NADA, but yeah, it's a great tool. It's kind of like Credit Karma.
Mhm.
You know, it's not your real credit score, but it's
Gives
a
you
good
an idea.
about where you're at with your credit. And that's another thing that Joe and I do for our customers is we'll definitely give you credit advice, let you know how you can improve your score. I mean, there's just so many ways to do that, and so many people don't understand the scoring system with the bureaus, and I always keep up to date with it. So I definitely help all my customers improve their credit and buy a car at the same time. So
Cool. Yesterday, I was driving on 646 and I saw a Jeep Cherokee. It wasn't a Grand Cherokee, and I didn't realize that these are two different vehicles.
Correct.
And maybe I'm a fool for that, but it looks totally. It doesn't look totally different, but it does look a lot different than the Grand Cherokee.
It's quite a bit smaller, as far as wheelbase size and the chassis of it. I mean, the leg room and stuff's a little bit smaller, not huge, but it's a little bit of a smaller engine. It's more of a mid-size SUV.
Yeah.
The other one, the Grand Cherokee's a large mid-size SUV.
Has the Grand Cherokee been out for a long time?
Oh, yeah.
Or was it just the Cherokee? Was it just the Cherokee?
Both
It's
of
always
them.
been two.
Both of them have been
Both.
out for a long time. The Cherokee was actually a little confusing when it first came out in the early 90s because it looks just like the Wagoneer at that time. And then they changed the name to Cherokee and just added a back set of doors. But the Cherokee's been out now since, this is a history lesson, but I want to say 92. I'm guessing 92. I know it was out in 94, but I want to say 92 were the first ones, and it's kept going. And the Grand Cherokee, I don't know, but, man, forever. 'Cause I remember we had like a 96 Grand Cherokee when I was growing up.
Yeah.
That thing was awesome.
Well, so I need to know what in the world I had, because I had an '84 Jeep Cherokee that it was blue, but it was in 1984.
Was it a boxy
yeah.
looking
It was
one?
very boxy.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved that car. I wish I still had it. Ended up selling it, and then the person wrecked it. Like
Dang.
seriously, like the next week that they had the car, but it didn't have AC. I mean, I had it in the early 2000s, and that was my vehicle. It was standard. It was awesome. Only had 4 gears, and I was good to go.
Be a story you tell your grandkids. I used to have.
I couldn't shift up. There was no fifth gear, but at that point, standard, I was like, I just want to get somewhere. I don't know how to drive standard. Like, I'll figure it out. I want to get to my friend's house, or I want to go try and work.
I mean, it's better than not driving anything.
That's right.
It's better than walking.
Rubber wheels.
Yes.
Better than rubber
And
hills.
it's funny because every time you talk to some old guy, someone like my dad's age, and we even work with a couple of them, but they're always like, my first car was a 67 this or a 69 Firebird. And you're always like, well, what'd you trade it for? And they're like, oh, I got it. And then they say something really uncool, and you're like, well, why'd you get rid of that car? And they're like, because there was no AC in it. And you forget that it wasn't until like the mid-'70s that AC started becoming like a thing. But it's everybody that had an awesome car, the story's always the same. Well, it didn't have AC.
Oh, man.
So I got a Cutlass.
I had a 1960 whatever, but it didn't have air conditioning, so I had to upgrade.
That's what my dad said. He was like, he had a 67 Camaro convertible. And when he told me what he got afterwards, he was like, I just wanted a car with AC.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. Couldn't imagine that. I was like, you couldn't put AC in there? He's like, back then you couldn't add AC. It either had it or it didn't. I was like, eee.
Yeah. Hey, so Amanda Perez, she's watching, and I know y'all know her because y'all,
Yeah.
she's gotten some cars from you
Her,
guys.
Hey,
her brother,
Amanda.
both parents.
Yeah, that's what she said. Oh, my mom's Grand Cherokee is so awesome. Thank you guys. And I've seen her picking up her, Amanda's daughter, like from the school and stuff in that car. It is an awesome car. And that's the one that was on the showroom floor, I think.
It was.
It
So
was.
I've been in that car.
Oh yeah. She got one of my favorites actually.
Yeah.
I was fake driving it, Amanda.
Miss Penny.
Yeah, there's probably a video
Congratulations,
somewhere.
Penny.
Yeah, that's an awesome car.
Yeah, and her brother got a amazing truck.
Oh yeah.
He got a 3500 with the big screen, everything.
A
Loaded.
3500, is that as big as it gets for the Ram?
Well,
No.
it can, but really that's as big as it normally gets. Anything after that's commercial vehicle.
Like
Yeah.
semi.
You can do
Yeah.
like a 450 or a 550, but I don't even think they make those as loaded as that. I mean, it was a really nice truck.
He could live in his truck.
Man.
Just fine.
Is it jacked up at all?
No, they're so big already.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
yeah.
it's massive.
That was one cool thing about the limited, the 1500, I believe. is it has the like the assist to be able to get in.
Air ride suspension.
The air ride suspension as well, but then also you open the door and
The retractable. Yep.
yeah, because my kids, I was thinking
Step
like they wouldn't be
rails.
able to get in this. And you open the door and it kind of goes down. It's like, okay, yeah, they would. They could definitely hop in there.
Yeah, we had a customer that had previously bought a vehicle and then came back and traded it because she had a surgery and she bought the air ride suspension so she could lower her truck, get in easily, and then lift it back up.
Yeah. What do people use that for besides that? Is there another purpose for that as well?
A lot of people use it. I mean, for towing, it's really nice. That's really what it's for. And a lot of people just like to be able to adjust it to the road conditions for comfort.
Yeah. I think one thing you had said is if you're hauling something in the bed of the truck, you can like even the truck out or something, so you would lift up the back.
Never
Correct.
thought
Yeah,
about
like
that.
so. I mean, whenever your trailer weighs the bed of your truck down, it pushes it back up.
That's
so
cool.
It keeps you level at all time. Puts a lot less wear and tear on the suspension. Looks a lot better, but you're not having to worry about dragging that back in.
Okay, so this is not necessarily a loaded question, but what are some features that have not come out yet that y'all would like to see added? Like if you were here in the, let's say we were in a design room with the people from Jeep and Ram and
I think the only thing they have left to do is drive themselves. I mean, I never thought a
That's true.
pickup truck would parallel park itself.
Yeah.
can do that.
Oh, yeah.
The Limited, it parallel parks itself. It's got adaptive cruise. It kind of can drive itself in a sense. You can take
Like a
your-
lane assist thing?
Yeah, it
Has
can't
lane
go out of
assist,
its lane. And with adaptive cruise, if it's say you're on cruise control at 70 and the guy in front of you starts going 55, the truck slows itself down,
Yeah.
speeds up. It lets you set how many car lengths you want to be behind everybody. If someone
That's
slams
cool.
on their brakes, it stops itself.
There's not much left.
So driverless.
There's really.
I'm going to take a nap.
much.
I mean, you can.
I'm
you
going to
can
work.
Two pushes of a button have Wi-Fi in your vehicle for the day.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow. So if you're like Amanda's brother, you could literally live in the truck and
literally.
it's big enough. Then you just be like, hey, at 6:30, I need you to drive me to work. And then you just like, if you're living there already,
That's
just kind of
about-
like roll out and you're good to go.
That's about the only thing. I mean, they really. I mean, I'm sure there's something we're not thinking of, but they pretty much do everything now.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
only
Really,
thing,
you got my thinking actually.
I'm a big fan of Back to the Future. And Back to the Future 2 is probably the greatest movie of all time, in my opinion. Well,
Are you
I don't know.
80s? Were you born in the 80s?
Yeah, I was born in the 80s.
Me too. So yes, Back to the Future.
And I remember the first time, you
Flux
probably can't see this.
capacitor.
Well, I got my DeLorean, my flying DeLorean tattoo, like on the inside of my arm here. It's peeking out there, right?
Oh shoot.
But flying cars, are we like 20 years away, 30? Is this ever going to happen? And when is Jeep going to get on the...
I don't know. We're not even good at driving on the ground anymore. I mean, that's the part that scares me. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, trying to set up a roadway in the air.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I mean,
don't think I'd be on. I don't think I want to do that. No.
I think it'll happen for the extremely rich one day. I don't know if we'll live to see it, but I just can't imagine. Can you imagine taking all the 610, I-45, and 59, 5 o'clock traffic and throw them all in the air?
Well, hopefully they do it 50-50, so then the freeway is going to be a lot more clear, and then the air will be like, okay, there's a lot of airspace. We'll
That's
figure it
true.
out. Maybe different levels.
The poor people who have to drive on the
Well,
ground.
Yes, that'll be us. We'll be on the ground.
Yeah, it's like,
But we'll get
we're
to work
still
quicker.
on rubber wheels.
Yeah, Joe has family that flies themselves to the hill country now. His dad just.
You got
so-
pilot license?
I've got some people in my family that, they fly planes.
He's
I'm not a
thinking
fan of
about-
small planes, but if I was driving it myself, I would be.
His
Yeah.
dad's
Type of
trying to
person.
talk him into getting his pilot's license.
Yeah,
That seems
so
like it'd be a fun adventure to do.
Yeah.
it'd be pretty cool. It's actually something I'm kind of interested in now, but if you'd have told me like 2 years ago I'd want to fly a plane, I'd be like, no. But
It's
now
not
with
me.
the kids and stuff, now they have these plane groups you can join for, not that much money a month, and you just have to reserve your times, and you can use a plane for a day or two.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
it would
neat.
be easier for us with our schedule of working I work 6 days a week. She works 5. So
Mhm.
it would be good to have that, make my 5-hour drive to visit my parents an hour and 15-minute flight.
Oh, yeah.
And it'd be good to let the kids get away more. So it might be something we do later on. We'll see.
Have you ever flown a drone?
A drone, yeah. I think
I
a
never
plane might
have.
be easier than the drone. It takes a while to get the hang of. But I'm actually better at it now. We've had quite a few of them, but the first ones I got were real cheap. I didn't realize those were the hardest ones to fly. But we actually had a drone photographer at our
We
wedding.
did.
Oh, cool.
And that was pretty that was pretty
It's
amazing.
pretty weird though. I was outside getting my mail one day and a drone just flies like almost eye linked and then just flew away. I was like, who? Where?
Yeah, what's going on?
That was pretty weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, and I'm sure more laws and rules and regulations are going to come out as they become more popular. And I'm not really a fan of making more laws, but sometimes you need them with things like that for privacy issues and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. But yeah, technology is great when it's used appropriately.
Our
Well,
customer got a
game wardens
ticket,
and-
right?
Yeah, some people
For flying?
You can get a ticket.
Driving. They
No,
got a ticket in the
driving, drone
mail.
picked them up.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
That I think is a little extreme. I understand. I have a friend that told me that he lives in the valley, and he was saying between the game wardens and border patrol, they have drones flying over their place
All the
left and
time?
Right? Yeah, he said they see more drones than people.
Wow.
But that's
Kind of scary.
It kind of is.
Oh, back to the Ram. I meant to ask you and Kurt, was it easy to navigate the system?
Yeah, it was. So I hopped in there and I was like thinking like, how far am I going to go? So I was like in the parking lot and I was like, I'm going to check this out. So what I did is I just went to that neighborhood and I made a loop around, but it was really easy to drive. So I think a lot of people are, and myself included, the first time I drove like a big vehicle, it was a little intimidating, right? Mm-hmm. And for that one, I felt good. I felt comfortable. You know, I think the important thing about driving any vehicle is making sure that your seat, you can reach everything and adjust before you get going.
Right.
For me, look, so I got in, I made sure everything was where I wanted it to be. I could see in the mirrors, I could reach the pedals, and I was the good distance that I needed to be because it's a big vehicle and has a lot of space in it. So, man, I hopped in there. I felt at home. It was easy.
Did you guys play with the touchscreen, the
Just-
12-inch screen?
Yeah, very minimal, though. Very
Yeah.
minimal
Really?
because I didn't want to goof
I
anything up.
definitely want y'all to come and pick one up and maybe spend more time in it just so you could.
People that test drive cars a lot of the time are kind of have that attitude. They're so fragile with it, like as if it's gonna break. Trust me,
Right.
it's not going to. You know, they're funny about touch and stuff. You know, women will be like, "Can I put my purse here? I don't want to scratch anything."
Yeah.
Or
Bring
like
my
if it
bottle of
scratches
water.
that easy.
Can I bring water with me?
Yeah, you just
That'd have been me.
the best way is always just treat it like it's yours when you drive it. I suppose when you drive, if you drive really bad, no. But as far as getting in, but yeah, I mean, put the seat exactly where you want it. Make sure it's going to be comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, older
Take
people are better
mental
at that.
ownership.
You know, they have that attitude. Well, if I'm going to buy this, I'm going to see how I like it. You know, they really touch, feel everything. I mean, all the way up to. I mean, you get people that are like, let me make sure my Yeti cup fits in this car, else that's a
Oh,
deal
yeah.
breaker.
It's a deal
You get some
breaker.
funny stuff, but that's the best way to do it.
You
is
want to
just
heighten all your
familiarize.
senses.
That's
On
awesome.
your test drive.
The one thing that I do want to test drive now, and I've been thinking about this, is a Jeep that maybe a 4-door one that has like big wheels on it.
Okay.
Because I've never driven one like that,
Oh yes.
Oh, that's
and I feel
fun.
like
We're
those
gonna
are like
make it
iconic.
happen.
We just got one back yesterday that you can come by and drive. We've got a Rubicon that we put big wheels and tires, lifted it,
Yeah.
put checkered leather in it.
Ooh,
Looks like a G-Wagon on the inside. It's cool.
that's awesome. And the Rubicon, that's the one that you can do really cool, like almost like off-road stuff on it. What are the features that has?
Well, what makes it a Rubicon is it has Dana 44s in the front and back, the axles, and then it has sway bar disconnect. So that's why people can like drive it on light poles or drive up on their friends' tires. Is you can disconnect the sway bar to where the wheels are basically can like do this over rocks.
Yeah,
Pretty
So
neat.
basically a rock crawler.
yeah. Man, what happens if you go over that too fast? It'll mess it up, huh? No?
Mm-mm. It
No.
basically becomes a transformer. You know,
Wow.
it can do a lot of really cool stuff.
You know, since you had told me that, I'll see these Rubicons parked at like HEB, like random places, and I wonder why they don't pull up on the light pole. Like they park like a normal person, and then I give them like a clap because if I had one, I'd
me
be
too.
like, nah.
I'm with you.
I'm
the
pulling
same.
up on the light pole, or I'm gonna park on somebody else's car. And they're gonna wonder what I'm doing, or like on their tire.
Absolutely.
A lot of self-control.
I mean, I wonder if they got a ticket for that or something. But every time they do those Jeep shows, like, you know, people always have to put one in the middle and then two people park on the wheels and stuff. You know, they have so many Jeep clubs now. We're actually talking about doing a Jeep car show one Saturday at the dealership.
Yeah, we're trying to brainstorm something. I really want them to get a Jeep track to test drive. It has 4 different terrains.
Oh, like
and-
off-road type
Yeah,
stuff.
like you get the rocks, the sticks, the ramp.
Kind of like the
So-
Hummer dealerships you
Yeah.
have back in the day.
I remember
something like
seeing there
that.
used to be one, and they had like a big old mound of
Yes.
dirt right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I.
Something fun like that.
Yeah, we're trying to think. You know.
Trying to do more stuff on Saturdays to get more people in as far as, you know, even if they're not there to buy a car, just So
Come out,
for the
community.
exactly, and then that way the
Network.
next time, I think we're actually doing a dog adoption thing up there.
Yeah, we are. We'll get the dates. So
I think we talked about that a little bit. It's like it's the first weekend in October. I think tentatively it was. Is that right? did it change?
We're gonna have to double check, but that's gonna be kind of fun to have a bunch of dogs at work because we are a pet friendly
Joe's
dealership.
not gonna get anything done.
I like
Play with the
dogs.
puppies.
But we're a dog friendly store, so I mean, if you ever have your dog
yeah.
and you need an oil change, or I mean, we have people that bring their dogs when they buy a car.
Test drive?
There's always at least 2 or 3 dogs
Oh,
in our
yeah.
store a day.
Because you got to see if the dog, like, hey, do you like
Dog
this car
fits.
too?
Oh yeah.
Do you like the car? Like, are you going to fit in the back, or where are you going to, buckle your
Fur
seatbelt?
babies matter. So yeah, we've
Fur
had
babies
we've
matter.
had customers. This reminds me of a Patriot. I sold a Jeep Patriot. I had to go to the guy's house so he could make sure his dogs can jump in comfortably in the back. and-
Hey, so we got some clarification from the Ron Carter League City Facebook page. Pet adoption, October 4th.
October 4th. I'm gonna. Put
I
that
did
in
remember
calendar.
that. Yeah, October 4th is that Friday, the first Friday in October. So that's an event that you're going to want to go and check out. It's at Ron Carter League City. You have the opportunity to get a Jeep and get a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or a
You
Ram.
can't get a car,
Chrysler.
you can still get a dog.
Best
or
friend.
both.
Best case scenario, walk in with no pet.
Free love.
No
You
car.
can come and play with the puppies.
And
Get
if
some
you're
love.
doing the great thing of car shopping with kids, which is, like,
Is that recommended?
it happens all the time. But I mean, if after an hour or two, a dealership's not the most fun. I mean, come on, kids go
It's
nuts in the
not.
grocery store. But if you have dogs to distract them, that's pretty cool.
Which we do
Mhm.
offer, where you can actually pick out your car, and we could do the whole deal through online and phone. And you'd come in, sign your papers, your car's clean, gassed up, and
Wow.
ready to go. You can get out of there, pretty quick time.
I was about to ask that. Is there anything that like if I'm looking to purchase a car that I can do to speed up the process? Because no joke, it's taking days. Like sometimes it'll take. I went to go get a vehicle or turn in a vehicle, buy a new one or whatever, and sometimes it takes all day or like multiple days.
Right. Most of my customers do purchase that way. Usually you'll come in, test drive a couple vehicles, maybe on your lunch break, leave, and then we just take the ball from there. We'll send you a secured online application, fill it out, have everything done, ready to sign, and that's it. You're in
Yeah.
and out. So we do offer that as well.
Yeah, that would be very helpful, especially with kids.
Absolutely.
Speaking of kids, what's the biggest vehicle you'll have to fit the crew in?
We have a Chrysler Pacifica right now, and I love it. It's a 7-seater, has the captain chairs in the middle row, and then a bench seat in the back. Lots of space, stow and go. But we do also have the Durango. Both of those can be 8-seaters.
The Durango can fit 8.
If you get the bench seat in the middle, and what else?
The other option would be captain chairs there.
Yes, I have the captain chairs. I personally like the captain chairs better because you can move, freely in the vehicle.
Would the
without
kids
having to
make
flip.
like? Do you have to call the kids captain? Like if they're sitting in those chairs? Because if I was growing up and my mom had one, I'd be like, "Mom, it's captain."
They
Like-
are the captains.
I call them bucket seats still.
bucket seats. Yeah.
But
Okay, buckets. Yeah, that's true.
but captain chairs is the correct term. But the Durango is also pretty big. We still do have the Grand Caravan, also, which is Dodge's version of the van.
Oh yeah, those are on super sale right now.
They are. They're not as
They're not as popular because the Pacifica came out. It just took over. Really.
It kind of did. It had a little more sporty look, but the Caravans are also they're a little more old school minivan, which a lot of people like. They don't like the new stuff. People that have had them for a while,
Yeah,
they
that's
like
true.
the traditional van. They like the stow and go. They like the look of the van.
Yeah.
The Pacifica was basically tried to make a little more like an SUV.
So the Pacifica, it has the space of a van, but it has the feel of an SUV
Oh,
more
yeah.
than
it
the traditional.
Actually, what drives like a luxury car. I'm not lying. It has a lot of speed, pick up and go.
I like driving it.
Gets great gas mileage. Yeah, we drive it all the time to the hill country. It's perfect for us.
Cool.
So. I never thought I'd be a minivan driver, but I am.
Yeah. I've been trying to tell my wife, like, we should get a minivan, just kind of like picking at her because she's like, I don't want a minivan. Like, what would I? But like, have you seen the Pacifica? Maybe this is the one for you. So if you're listening, Jennifer, I love you, and maybe the Pacifica is for us. Okay, speaking of the Durango, I saw one there the other day, and if I looked inside, actually the window, because this one was locked, but it was black and it had red stripes going down the top.
The RT with red leather.
Ooh, man. Yeah, the leather was red on the inside and looked like a sports car, but I looked at the space and it could fit a lot of people in there, like full-size adults.
That one's what makes it an RT is that one has a V8 in it. It's a Hemi, so it actually will drive kind of like a sports car too. But that one's just like a sport package. It's got the hood scoop on it, the racing stripes. The car moves.
Yeah.
Blacked out wheels, right? Blacked out wheels.
And then it's got the red leather.
I think the wheels are 22 inches too.
20 inches.
Oh, 20.
20, so it has some big wheels, so that can make it a little bit sporty. So if you're like, hey, I need to fit people, I'm not ready for the minivan yet. Then you get something like this, because then you can still, hey, I got some power here as well if I need to get out and move out the way.
Oh yeah, we have people that buy those that don't even have kids, to be honest.
Right. They like to take their car when they go out with their parents or their friends, I mean, that's real common too.
That's cool.
That one is fully loaded too with the Travel Link.
It's got everything.
Everything. Navigation, Apple CarPlay, power seats on both sides. So
yeah,
you get a lot of amenities in that package. Even the SXT comes with a lot of amenities now. They all get the screen, backup camera, Uconnect system,
Ooh,
Bluetooth.
The truck also had was the overhead cameras, which I don't know how y'all do that, but I feel like it's very important. My car doesn't have that. I don't have a truck, but still, because then you can actually see like down or around you.
Around you.
It's nuts.
I love that feature, and I feel like that's a really good safety feature. It
should be required.
360 camera.
Yeah, the 360 camera, backup cameras have changed the game.
Backup camera just came required. So.
Oh, they are required?
Backup cameras are required in all cars now.
I didn't know that.
That's awesome.
Everything.
The other thing that should be required, and maybe it will be or already is the blind spot monitors.
That would be nice if it was required and just came on everything, because that's actually the backup cameras when they first came out. I was like, okay, whatever, I can live without that. Now I'm pretty partial to it.
Yeah.
But the blind spot monitoring, that's the one feature that's one of the few things that's got me excited, because I like it. Because a lot of times you'll see it. It only happens 2 or 3 times a year, but there's a couple times I'm like, whoa, I would have never ever seen that, because I mean it just works perfect. But it's great too whenever the blind spot monitoring also, when you make the right turn, it activates to like whatever you're pulling.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's really easy to forget you're pulling something. At least it is for me.
That is true.
Especially if something small like a jet ski or
in the
just a
zone.
little lawn trailer or something, and you're just driving and you look. That's where I really like it, because there's a couple times where I'm like, oh, I'm still pulling the trailer.
And trying to squeeze in. Because you're used to not probably 95% of the time you're not pulling a trailer when you drive.
Exactly. And I trust the blind spot monitoring a lot more than the backup camera.
Yeah.
It's hard once you start driving these vehicles with technology. I'll get in an older trade-in and I'll forget it doesn't have a backup camera. I'm like just looking forward, and then I'm like, oh my gosh.
I've done that.
Mine with kids driving too.
For sure.
Oh yeah, I'm
like
so grateful.
We wouldn't let our kid drive anything without it.
Yeah.
Just because I don't trust him to pay attention.
Like a rental car. I've driven a rental car here, this year sometime, but not having blind spot monitors, and you just think that they're there. So I'm looking over there, and I'm just like, oh man, you almost have to pinch yourself and remind yourself, like, hey, this car doesn't have the technology that mine does.
That's true.
I need to like turn all the way, and it's crazy to think that that's what we were trained to do. Look up. Just pretty much turn your head all the way around and look, and it's like, is that safe? I'm driving 70 miles an hour, probably a little faster if I'm being honest, down the freeway, and you want me to take my eyes off of ahead.
So true.
All the way around, which I still kind of, like do a quick glance even with the blind spot monitor, but still.
It makes cars look a lot better too. I mean, that sounds kind of funny, but like, remember that used to be all the cool cars had the worst blind spots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every sports car had a million blind spots. Mustangs, Camaros, Challengers, they all have horrible
cruisers.
FJs. They all have horrible blind spots. So now we don't have to worry about that as much in the design. We still try to keep the blind spots to a minimum, but we can make the car look a little cooler. Like, no one's actually going to check anyway.
You know what had 0 blind spots? My 84 Jeep Cherokee. That thing was all windows.
I was going to say, it was just a big square of windows.
It was a square window, 360-degree window, and it was awesome.
You were in a glass box.
I was, and it got me everywhere I needed to go. Just a little sweaty, but it was good stuff.
Come a long way.
Here's a comment. Hey, when's a good time to buy a car?
Right now. right now.
Right now is a great time to buy a car. Who made that comment?
This is from Troy.
Oh, hey, Troy.
Yeah, we're ready, Troy. Call us 832-226-2645.
Is there anything else I would like to share and remind everybody what is going on right now? I think the Kelly Blue Book.
Yeah, we're doing the trade-in event. We have loaners for owners.
Right now is a great time to buy a car with the KBB event, especially if you have a trade-in. Even if you're a little bit of a pessimist about it, feel free to just call us. Ask for me or Lucy, and just give us your VIN number and miles. Send us some pictures if you're that worried about it, and let us see what we can do on your trade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, no, I'm upside down. I mean, we have a lot of stuff right now where we can get you out of those cars.
Yeah, the
Get you into
19s
something
are the
you
new
wanna be in.
18s. We're pushing off the lot.
Because
so.
the 20s are coming out for next year, but they're still
Right.
brand new cars that are the exact same.
And a lot of people think they need to wait till the end of the year, but what happens at the end of the year, it's slim pickings. You know, the reds are going to be gone. It's just a slim pickings because everybody now is getting all the good inventory that's out there, and the sales are here. I mean,
Yeah.
it's here.
What's the most popular color?
Probably white or black, maybe.
I think it's granite crystal.
Granite
dark
crystal.
gray.
That's
The dark
true.
gray?
But it varies every couple of months.
Is it
Yeah.
true what they say about tickets? Like, with the red cars,
I
you may
don't
get
think
picked.
so.
I don't think so.
I think I saw that on
It is false
Mythbusters
what
too.
they say about insurance. Like a lot of people are like, oh, the insurance is higher on a red car. It's like, no, it is not.
It's not.
No.
I would just call it something else besides red. I'd be like, it's crimson.
Octane.
Crimson.
Well, all of
maroon.
them have funny names now. Nothing can just be red or gray. Like granite crystal's the name for dark gray. I've never seen gray granite or crystal gray. but-
Right.
and then it's Delmonico red for our burgundy color. That's the only one that makes a little bit
Octane
of
red for the
Octane
Chargers or
red.
Challengers.
It's pumpkin for orange, but it doesn't even look like a
It's
pumpkin color.
spelled Punkin. Pumpkin.
Pumpkin?
Pumpkin.
That's like a pet's name. Hey, Pumpkin.
I don't
Actually, it's
ever
his
call them.
cousin's
And then
pet's
like
name.
our blue
And
one's
she
called
bought a-
Maximum Steel. What steel is blue?
His
you know?
cousin Jennifer bought a pumpkin orange Jeep just because that's her dog's name.
Isn't Blue Steel like Zoolander? Like one of the faces that he makes? Yeah, it's like Blue Steel, like it's
Blue
modeling
Steel.
faces. Oh, man. Ben
For
Stiller.
kids that can't read good.
Yeah.
Ukulele.
Oh, man. So, hey, we were talking about tickets. I just wanted to say funny. Well, I think it's funny, but it's still awesome that I got out of this. Yesterday, I got pulled over on 517. If you're driving by Ziegler's, there's that. It goes from like 40 to like 30 kind of, and there's like
That's good to know.
in my opinion, I think there's like a tree limb that's covering like part of the sign, depending on the blow of the breeze. So I got pulled over. It's actually my second time to get pulled over there, but he gave me a warning. So shout out to that gentleman. And I
Thank you,
think that's
God.
nice. His printer
great.
wasn't working. He said in the car, so he's like, "I'm giving you a warning. My printer's not working." I was like, "I don't know if he would." Thank you,
blessing.
God. I was like
Thank you,
praying in the
God.
car. Either way,
Oh, yeah.
like the printer was jammed. So
I got lucky. I didn't tell her this. I got lucky last week too. I was
What?
kind
No.
of. I was speeding over by the high school in Friendswood,
Oh, no.
and the cop just like kind of waved me out and was like,
slow down, man.
"Slow
You got
down."
this.
I
Yeah.
was like, well, we dropped our nephew off really early for practice, and I'm like, man, it's 6:15. No one's out here, but I was like, thank you, 'cause he had me too.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Whenever actually what happened is I saw him over there in the parking lot, and I looked at my speed, and I was like, I just pulled over. Like he hadn't even pulled out yet. I put my blinker on, I turned on that lane, and just sat there, had my window down with my insurance and my driver's license. And I was like, he's like, is there a reason? I said, no, sir. I was just actually, and I didn't tell him because I could have said this. I was actually out handing out these flyers for the United Way that we're teaming up with doing our taco cook-off, and that's what I was doing. So I was in Dickinson going, I went to the, AJ's Meat Market, and then I went and filmed something in a taco truck, and then I was actually dropped off something at this other business, and I was up and down 517, just in a hurry, not thinking about stuff. But I was like, it crossed my mind. I was like, well, actually, I'm handing out these letters to try and raise money for the United Way, and partnering. But I was just like, no, I knew what I was doing.
Cop. That's awesome.
Yeah, but he was
What a blessing.
nice guy. So anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Is there anything
you.
else you'd like to share?
Come see us this weekend. KBB starts today. If you have a trade you want to get rid of, or you just want a new car, come see me or Lucy.
Right, and we pay $100 referrals too. So if you know anybody, please send our way 832-226-2645.
Ask Amanda. I think I paid her like $400 last month.
Thank you, Amanda.
Oh man,
She's one of our favorites.
that could be like a full-time job, just like referring people.
Yes, it can. I have a customer who pays half or all of her car note that way every month. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yes.
Yeah, you can be
Very
like
cool.
a club promoter, but actually get paid.
It's KHEA Radio. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have the Tech City Lamarck Chamber of Commerce in studio. Join us. Thank you, guys.
That was fun. And come pick up a car and drive it for
I
the
will.
day when you're.
Y'all can take one of these and read it as well. If y'all
want
want to have a cook-off team, that's on the back as well, at the bottom.
I know somebody has.
I know y'all are like the weekends is like busy like work time for you guys.
Sundays.
No, we do want to go to the taco event.
Yeah, if y'all could find time.
I love tacos.
We
We will find. We will be
We
there.
tend to find time for tacos.
I actually want to get Ron Carter to get a booth out there. So.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, thank
That works.
You. Come
Thank you,
pick up
guys.
a car anytime and
I will.
drive it for the day.
I'm gonna drive me a Jeep. I'm gonna go get one of those Rubicons and just park it at HEB. Yeah, I'm gonna take one of those Jeep Rubicons and I'm just gonna go hang out at HEB and park on all the light poles. Until- yeah. No. Hey, what's up? Hey, if you're hanging out and you're looking for a car, check out our good friends Ron Carter and League City. And here's my good friend Lauren. I tried to go visit you yesterday just to check and see if everything was cool. And they said, Lauren's not here today. And I was like, I'm not going to lie. I was like looking in the back. I was like, right, that's what she probably told. If Gardy shows up and asks for me, just tell him I'm not here. And I saw you. I saw you in the back. No, I'm just kidding. How you doing? You doing okay?
I'm doing okay. Just feeling under the weather. So
I feel you.
Yeah.
And I haven't been out. I've been inside for a couple hours here now. But man, it's one of those days a little bit where just like the weather, the thunder, and it just makes you want to like just cuddle. I don't even drink tea, and I'm gonna drink like hot tea, sit on the couch and do nothing. Netflix
It's a Netflix
and
day.
tea. But you know what? Positivity goes on, and we're gonna keep hanging out. Hey, what's your name?
Amy Reed.
Amy Reed. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
Pretty good. Now that you guys are hanging out, that was our good friends Ron Carter, and we're gonna be talking.
I know you get
About
a
the
different
chamber.
car every week.
Yeah,
That's all I heard.
Yeah, me too.
pretty much that's what happens. They're like, hey, come drive this. And I'm like, okay, I could do that.
Nice.
So I've been driving like the Ram truck. And have you seen the Gladiator? It's like a Jeep, but a Jeep truck. So what they did is they added a
yeah.
bed
That
on it.
end?
I've seen
Yes.
it. One
Man.
of our friends, oh my gosh, I guess, is that the one that was on the waiting list for forever and they finally came out? Yeah, our friends just got theirs. It
Yeah.
looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's slick. So they came out with them earlier, but they're 2020s. And so now the like the other 20s are coming in. So they were talking about like the 19s. And I don't know how it all works, but apparently it's a good time to buy a car. And
That's
I'm
awesome.
always tempted to buy. I don't need one, but you can always get it. Like new stuff is cool.
Well, a new one every week.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. So how are you guys doing? Like what's going on?
Nothing. We're getting ready for, let's see, YP is tomorrow. Young Professionals is tomorrow.
Young Professionals.
Women in Business is the 19th.
I've been trying to go to those, but y'all keep
No.
declining my invites.
And so Women in Business is going to be at the Fairfield Inn at the corner of, let's see, Emmett Lowry and, was it 2004? Is that what that is?
Sweet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So right there in front of Mall of the Mainland.
Yeah.
So that's really nice. But we're trying to go to all of our different venues that we have as members and having lunch there. So that's good. And then our big one is the Chamber Golf Tournament. That's the 2nd and the 3rd of October.
October?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. October.
You play golf?
You know what? No. I've no joke. I've never played golf in my entire life. I went to Top Golf one time and I was so bad.
I'm pretty terrible.
Man, and it stinks because it's not like I'm the best athlete, but like growing up I played everything.
Yeah.
Not golf. Like I even tried tennis and I wasn't that good at it, but I was like I didn't think I'd be good at it. But like baseball, you know, growing up playing and I was like, "Oh yeah, golf
Totally
club."
different.
You know, the golf club goes flying. And there was other people there and they were like way good and I just felt like a fool. So
Every time I go to Top Golf, I only get the front circles.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just better like just throw the golf ball out there and try and hit one of the
I always
holes.
do the softball swing and it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like little games within the game. I'm not good at any of them.
I'm really just there to spectate.
Yeah, they got food and stuff. Hang out with friends.
Yep.
That's about it.
Yeah.
So wow. Amy, what do you have going on? Are you with the chamber? Or you have your own business?
I'm with the Small Business Development Center.
Okay.
And then I'm also have A Reed Photography. So I'm involved in both the Young Professionals event for A Reed Photography, doing the headshots. And then with SBDC, we're here to talk about the Google event we have going on.
Sweet. What's the Google event?
We're partnering with the Texas City Chamber. We are Google partners, the Small Business Development Center, and they're going to come in. They're going to talk about like how to get your business found online, what SEO is, and how to use the Google Analytics on the back of your website.
Okay. Hey, here's a question, and we can ask this before we go on the FM as well. Who is Women in Business for? Like, what kind of businesses, and does it cost money?
So Women in Business right now is open to members and non-members. Basically, the only fee is to pay for lunch if we have it catered. Sometimes we'll go to a restaurant and just have you pay for your stuff right then and there.
Yeah.
But it is for any woman in business, whether it's business owners or women in leadership in businesses or anybody just trying to further their career in business. So
Cool.
it's to basically not only support other women, it's to also it's a tool. So whether it's networking, education, all that other kind of stuff.
And speaking as someone who's gone for several years, they're very welcoming. So anytime a new member shows up, someone new to the group, they're very welcoming.
And what kind of costs, before we go on the FM too, are associated with being a member of the chamber?
So it just kind of depends. It depends on whether you're a nonprofit or for-profit and how many people are established in your employee base. So it varies. It honestly varies because we're not trying to do a flat rate across the board. And, for small businesses, sometimes that's a little bit harder.
Make it accessible to
Yeah,
everybody.
exactly.
So let's say, which I know Chelsea, but like her business, she does. They're delicious. They're awesome. But she makes these crunch rolls, and so she does that, seasonally. So it's just her. Maybe she would count like her husband, or if there's somebody else who helps. So for a business that's like, hey, I'm working this out of my house. It's me, my husband, and maybe someone else. A relatively small business. Yeah. What kind of what kind of cost is that?
So with that the initial cost would be $350, but that's yearly. And with
a year.
that, yes, that's per year. And with that you get, it's funny, but I tell people use us for everything that you need, whether it's connections, networking, educational tools, all of our classes. With signing up to be a member, you do get to use a lot of our tools for free. We refer you to the Small Business Development Center because, again, it's a nonprofit, and that goes, they help everybody. We give classes all the time, and again, if you want to get in front of a certain client, we can definitely help you with that connection.
Yeah, and I don't think they allow just like one. Well, maybe, I don't know. Do you allow? So if she does multiple businesses, but is that something you allow? Is it like per business?
It's basically per business.
Gotcha.
But we could talk and see if it intertwines together because catering businesses, they may have certain things, but again, so we would just have to talk.
Cool.
Give me a call.
I'm going to give you these before I forget. So this is for our Taco Taco Cook-Off. This is actually one of the reasons we came by to see you. Like, hey, let's drop off some letters. And did they give you one?
Yes, they did.
Okay, good. So, and I think the United Way said they were going to hit you up for like one of the email things. The blast or something. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you need any more of these. We have like millions.
I need you to email it to me so I can make it look pretty
digital.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can do that.
Yes.
Thank you. All right.
Which is what you get with membership too, for free email blasts. So.
Hey, before we go on the FM, could you scoot your mic up just a little bit more?
Yes.
And you're good. You're good. I think it's better. Okay, here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Right now it's 10:12 a.m. It is Wednesday. I'm excited because we got our friends from the Texas City Lamarck Chamber of Commerce here in studio. We were talking to Ron Carter earlier, and that went great. I'm excited to go test drive a brand new Jeep. I've had some time on one of the Ram trucks. I've actually shot a video in front of the Gladiator, which is amazing, so I'm going to have to circle back around to that one. But I want one of the Jeep Rubicon, 4-door. Yeah. Apparently it does some crazy, ridiculous stuff like driving up walls, and I'm going to try all of it. So we're going to see.
We have so many hills in this area.
Well, here's another thing. They said they're going to set up an obstacle course.
Oh, that's awesome.
Then I'm going crazy.
Yeah,
and I'm just going to go to HEB and park on light poles. We discussed this because apparently it'll do that. You can just pull up there. Lauren, how's it going? How's the chamber?
It is going great. We're just busy getting ready for our next set of events. So,
yeah. And there's a golf tournament taking place.
Yes.
When is it? Where is it?
Golf tournament, October 2nd and 3rd. It is at our local golf course, and it is a 2-day event.
In Texas City?
Yes.
Okay.
2-day event with waves of golfers. Over 500 golfers come. We have hospitality tents. It's actually a really, really good time. Let's knock on wood, cross fingers, say some prayers for some good weather.
Mhm.
So that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of our biggest events, and it's another great way to network and meet some people.
Yeah. 500 people, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And they all golf.
Yes, they all golf.
Is there like a winner?
Yeah, so there are some winners. There's some different awards. So I mean, it's fun, and it's not too serious. It's a great way to just go out and have fun, and win some awards, eat some great food. Oh my gosh, most of those tents out there have the best food.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just kind of every time you pull up to a new hole, there's new food, there's new gifts, there's new everything.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah.
So is it like sponsors and partners of
Yep.
each hole, and then you can like, hey, try this food, or you can do this?
Mhm.
That's amazing.
And some of them aren't even restaurants. They're actually just a team of people from one company
Mhm.
who have a hidden talent of cooking or barbecuing and stuff.
And they sponsor that
And they
hole.
Yep.
How many holes is that golf course?
I'm going to say 18.
It is.
Wow.
Well, it depends too on the weather, because there was one year where we had to shut down a couple holes just because it flooded,
Okay.
because that's a bummer.
Yeah.
But again, good weather.
Very
Good
cool.
weather.
Hey, Amy Reed. We have Amy Reed here in studio as well. Can you share everything that you have going on? I tried to write it all down, but it sounds like you're a very busy person.
So I'm with the Galveston County Small Business Development Center, and we have an upcoming Google event that we are partnering with the Texas City Lamarck Chamber of Commerce. That is September 18th from 11:30 to 1. It's $10, and that just pays for the lunch. Google's going to bring some great content on SEO, how to set up Google Analytics to the back of your website, and just basically how to be found online.
That's important. A lot of people look for reviews on social media, online, and if you're the first one that pops up, guess what? You're probably getting a phone call.
Exactly.
Right.
We have been getting a phone call, and it stopped because the way I handled it the last time they called, it was from like Google. At least they said they were. I don't know if it's a scam. Like, hey, we're looking to set up your business, something. And they're like, are you the owner? I'm like, well, technically no, but I kind of run this thing. Like, what you need? You know, like, what you got going on? And then they would call the time, and I was like, listen, the owner will never be available to talk to you. I can talk to you right now. And they're like, well, I'm sorry. I said, okay, well then don't call anymore. But if I can figure this stuff out, by myself or going to this event,
Right.
it makes sense.
And that's not Google calling you, by the way.
It's not.
No, it's a scam.
See, well, I'm glad. At least they stopped calling me.
Yeah. Well, and it also helps too, because there are some great workshops out there, usually in downtown Houston or North Houston. And for a day, you can pay $200 to $400 to go to these workshops and stuff. And again, they're great. But when we have, resources like Amy and the, SBDC and everything, why not learn valuable information for just the price of lunch?
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And you also do photography, right?
I do. So I own A Reed Photography, and we are partnering again with the Texas City Lamarck Chamber of Commerce to do the young professionals headshots
And handshakes.
and handshakes, and that is tomorrow night from 5 to 7.
Yep.
Okay. So is it, you're getting headshots and then like networking is the handshake
Yep,
side?
Exactly.
Okay. How long have you been doing photography?
About 8 years.
Cool. And is it, what kind would you say you do? Is it mainly like that professional headshot thing, or you do a little bit of
I
other stuff?
specialize in senior photography, but I also do family portraits and corporate headshots.
When you say senior, what is that?
Graduates, so high school seniors generally.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like senior citizen photography, like lifestyle, which
I do
would be
those
really
too.
cool.
Hey, I do a little bit of everything, but high school seniors, yeah.
I'm just picturing in my head, like go at college in the mainland, like feeding the ducks, like just two senior citizens like holding hands, and it'd be,
It'd be
That's a
super
cute
cute.
idea. Beautiful.
That's a
Yeah,
cute
it'd be
idea.
super cute.
let's make that happen. So how important is a headshot? Because I didn't have one till like a couple months ago, if that. And people had asked me, I'm like, I don't know. I can send you a picture right now. What should you look for whenever you're creating that headshot?
Well, when you're thinking about it from either owning a business or working for a business, it goes against the brand of the business. So when you're making the brand, you want your headshot to also show that. So when you do the headshot, it's always important to think about the color of the background. So like tomorrow night, we're using gray. So you don't want to wear anything that's going to clash. You also don't want to have anything that has too much pattern to it. You want something that
Like in your clothes?
Exactly.
Okay.
You want something that's going to help bring out your eyes, and basically just coming in with practice smile is huge, and being able to take some direction.
Hey, taking direction, is that easy for people to do or for you to give as well?
50% of the people, yeah.
Yeah.
So giving it is a lot easier generally. people, if they see someone else, they can mimic it,
Mhm.
but they don't always take direction. Sometimes you have to help them out a little.
Feels uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Whenever I was getting married, we had to take engagement photos, and I didn't know that was a thing. Like I was like, can we just get married like without anybody there? Like that'd be cool. But then it was like, okay, we went and we were downtown in this area, and it was like, okay, now act this way. I was like, this doesn't feel natural at all. But guess what? I tried to take that direction, and the photos came out awesome, or at least they only showed us the
Prompts
ones that
help
did.
a lot.
Yeah, so taking that direction, it's not going to feel easy at times, but it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
And with you having I guess, is it easy to create, like telling people what to do?
I think so. Generally, I try to think about what I would want to hear if I were in that position, if I were going for a certain look or something like that. What would I want to be prompted? Like for engagement couples, you tell the couples, look at each other and think about how you're going to feel the first time you see them on your wedding day. It's a great prompt because you usually get some real emotion in the photo.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Where me at the professional headshots, I'll be like,
I don't know what to do with my hands. So that's
Good thing
tomorrow.
is the hands are not in
Yes,
the
that's
headshot, so
tomorrow.
you're good.
Where is it at?
at the chamber.
At the chamber, 5 to 7.
5 to 7. There's going to be finger foods, some good networking, and get some professional headshots.
Cool. Well, is there any cost to attend?
Nope.
And do you have to be a member of the
You
chamber?
do not have to be a member. So we're just trying to get everybody to come in and check out the chamber and some of our members and everything. So it's a great tool again for our community.
Yeah.
So
Are there a lot of young professionals here?
there are.
Yeah.
There are quite a bit. So
And
we'll have
growing.
between 30 and 50 young professionals at each meetup, and it's continually growing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why is networking so important for anybody?
Networking is how you get in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
Networking is how you grow personally, mentally, career-wise. I mean, if you're not willing to kind of put yourself out there, you don't know what you're going to get back or what
Yeah.
you could get back. That's the whole thing. It's opportunities.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Whenever you first make that jump to go to an event or
Mhm.
get out of your comfort zone, or it's hard. I'm
It
gonna
is.
say
It
it's
is.
hard, and it's like you think like I look dumb or I'm stupid. Like why am I going to post this on social media? People are looking at me, or I'm gonna take a
Mhm.
photo, and I don't know. Do y'all have any advice on how you can break that? And that's not necessarily what y'all are talking about.
No, whenever I first started networking, it was really hard for me. It's hard for me. I'm 6 feet tall, so I always hated being the center of attention, even when I was little. And to have to put myself out there in a group of anywhere from 15 to 80 people and force myself to introduce myself to people, it was really hard. But I took a step back and I was just like, everybody else here is doing the exact same thing. Everybody else here was either in my position at one point or is still trying to muscle down all of the nerves to be able to talk to people. People know coming to these things that they're going to meet people, they're going to receive cards or even just some kind of connection. So it kind of makes it a lot less awkward when you know that everybody is there doing the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
I agree. I think that the one thing I always tell our clients who come in and they are trying to network, they're trying to grow in the community and they're nervous about networking is I just tell them everybody has been where you're at. Everybody has walked into a room where they didn't know anybody. After you do it a few times, you start to know more people and you're more comfortable. So anybody can do anything for an hour.
Well, and what's great for what I've seen as far as the members and the people involved with the chamber, it just seems that everybody is pretty laid back. And if they see anybody struggling, they literally go up and be like, hey, what can I help you with? Or, hey, people can recognize pretty much in our awesome Texas City Landmark Chamber.
Right. They don't really let you be a
Yeah,
wallflower. They come and
exactly.
approach you.
It's
so
really
nice.
welcoming.
Yeah. At the event, the first one that I went to that you guys had was the legislative luncheon, and I had never been to a chamber event before. And just like walking in, first of all, I saw you and Kayla, and I was like, oh, sweet. There's people we know. Because looking around, I was like, there's so many people here. But then you realize, I didn't think I was going to know anybody. And then you get there, and it's like, I kind of know everybody here. And it's a big network and a web, and there's probably people that, hey, you're connected to them somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
And it helps. And everybody kind of made you feel comfortable and said, hey, you can sit here, you can sit here. I was like, sweet. I'll eat the food here, and then I'll go eat food over there, and just worked out.
Right.
Well, that's what's nice, too. As a chamber, I always tell people, get in touch with us. If you want to be put in front of somebody or have a connection or be introduced to somebody, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you network and get over that icebreaker. So.
Cool. Amy, how did you get into photography?
I used to take lots of pictures of my kids when they were little, and eventually, out of necessity, because I didn't like the creativity I was getting from like going to some of the big box places, I ended up doing it more and more myself. And then over time, people just said, "You should do this. You should do this." And finally, I listened. And just lots of training, mentors, and that sort of thing. And 8 years later,
Cool. What kind of camera do you use?
I use a Canon.
Sweet.
Yeah.
A lot of people, we have found when we're talking to videographers and photographers, that a lot of people are like, I use Canon, I use Sony, I use Panasonic, and you kind of stick with it. And they all make great gear, and obviously just personal preference and everything else. So
I am making a
it's just
switch in
fun.
January. I'll be going Sony.
You're going Sony? What are you
Yeah.
getting?
I'll be getting the AD. So, yeah, I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah, the A7R3, or is it
Yeah.
the 4, whatever, just came out, and it's like 62 megapixels or something ridiculous like that. And everybody's like, why would you need that? I don't know. Maybe like 5 years from now you may, but either way, it's cool. And it's tough because, not just with cameras, but everything. Like iPad, like the new iPhone was introduced yesterday. I need it. Well, I also have, I need it, but it's just tough. Like technology is a great way for business to thrive, and you have to be able to use that if you want to be relevant today.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that kind of brings us full circle back to that the Google SEO event.
Exactly.
When is that one again?
18th, September 18th, 11:30 to 1.
Okay, and who's invited to that?
Anybody.
Anybody can come as well.
They can register on the SBDC's website. So it's gcsbdc.com. And you just find the event and register from there.
All right. Hey, we're going to take a quick break on the FM right now. It's 1025. It's KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. All right. Hey, someone had commented and said that the NHPO, I guess it's the National Hispanic Professional Organization. Maybe I should join that. Just for me.
They're pretty active.
They are? I hadn't heard of them yet. That's cool.
The Hispanic Chamber of Commerce in Houston is the largest chamber of commerce.
They have their own chamber?
Yes.
And only Hispanic people are allowed?
Yes.
And it's the largest in Houston.
See, that's great, but I would feel weird maybe joining something like that, just because growing up in this area, there's a great mix of people, and whenever I go somewhere, and like even visiting family that I have in the Valley, it's like I don't know, like 95, maybe even 99% Hispanic people, and it doesn't feel right, because here they're like, even in Lamarck, it's almost like the perfect like 15, 20, 20. It's really interesting. And so growing up here, spending most of my life here, it just almost feels out of place whenever it's like one I don't know.
It's different
Culture.
when you grow up in a melting pot of a city, which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to make so many different connections.
Very well
the
balanced.
Food, the culture, everything is great. So whenever I go back home to California, it's definitely a little different, because I grew up in SoCal. So everybody...
I'm from South Dakota, so big difference when I go back there.
Everybody kind of looks the same.
When did you move here?
So I've been here on and off for 15 years. So almost half in California, almost half here.
Was it like family moving stuff?
Yep.
Cool. And you said you're from where?
South Dakota.
South Dakota. What brought you down here?
Divorce. Parents got divorced.
Okay.
Sort of thing. Yeah, family.
And so you moved whenever you were pretty young?
Yeah, about 13. So I've been here most of my life, but we still go back all the time.
Yeah. Was that like a culture shock?
Huge culture shock. Huge.
I talked to someone yesterday. They're from New Hampshire, and they moved down here actually right after Harvey to help with 8 Days of Hope.
Oh, wow.
And they said it was, like culture shock
Yeah.
moving from New Hampshire to here. So
Yep.
Dakota, SoCal. I'm from here. Welcome. It's my home.
I finally say y'all. Sometimes I say you guys. And people are
Is that what
I
they
always
say
say
over
y'all.
there? You guys?
Yep.
How about people in Pennsylvania? I think they say like yen or like
Use. My daughter goes
What
to
is
school
it?
in Philly. It's use.
use.
Yeah.
Oh, the use guys?
Not
Use
use
guy-
guys,
It's
just
just
use.
use?
Yeah.
Who says use guys?
New York.
Is that New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all.
It's y'all. And I'm like, it's just so much easier.
Y'all works well. Just fine.
Whenever I
So-
went back for high school, I was asked if I lived on a dude ranch.
They think we still ride horses
Yeah.
other parts of the country
like,
do.
no.
Yeah.
Not really. Live in the suburbs.
Wow. Cool. Hey, so we didn't touch on this at the beginning, but today is the 18th. anniversary, I guess is a weird way to say it, but it's the 18 years ago when 9/11 happened. And I started out just kind of asking like our first guest, like, do y'all remember where you were? Do you remember where you were?
Yeah.
I was in junior high, and I was working for our yearbook. I was on the yearbook committee or staff, and I had walked down the athletics hallway to go interview the coaches for their past game and all that other stuff.
Were you in California or here?
No, I was here.
Okay.
So I was actually at Brookside in Webster.
Okay.
So I was walking down the hall and went up behind the coaches, and they had their TV on, like this, rinky-dink TV, and you saw everything playing. And I walked up and I was like, hey, do you mind? And then they just shushed me. And then they had told me what had happened. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Being in junior high, that age, like, you realized what was going on, but how long did it take for you to realize, like, hey, the severity of like what was going on?
Into high school.
Yeah.
At a junior high age, you know that it's bad, and you know that it's sad, and you know that there's some families that were affected, but you don't really grasp everything that was behind it and all of that kind of stuff. So it wasn't until high school when I really started diving into my own personal beliefs and research and all that other kind of stuff that I realized how just
the reasoning
crazy.
and like what followed and how big that affected
exactly
the world.
yeah
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember where you were?
I was walking into work. I worked at a car dealership, and I walked in the back, and the parts manager had a tiny little TV, sort of a little black and white. And I just popped my head and said, good morning. And he said, you need to see this. And it was on TV. And my first thought, because I already had 2 children, was I needed to get to my babies. So, I remember just being so scared and just raw emotion. But I was older, so I understood a lot more.
Yeah. I was in 10th grade, and it took, like, by the end of the day, kind of realized, like, what was going on. But, yeah, at the beginning, it was like first period, here, and I guess it already happened, and social media wasn't around, at least in the way it is now, and we didn't have devices. So it was just like word of mouth. So somebody came in, they were late to school, heard it on the radio, and then somebody else was like, it's probably just like, we don't know what it is. It's okay. Like, it's in New York, right? And then realizing how big it was when they had those carts, and y'all may remember, like, the carts, the big box TVs with the cart, and it was like, it's movie day, and it was an antenna, plugged it in, and it's on every channel, and everybody's talking about it. And even still, like, I think, by the end of the day, I was like, wow, this is different. It's different than anything else that's happened.
Yeah, in junior high, they were talking about closing the schools and everything. And then because we were so close to NASA and all of this, I was like, well, that's kind of weird. And then as I got older, I was like,
well, we're here in Texas City. We had the same issue with the plants.
The refineries.
We were worried that we could be the next target.
Yeah, so I just, as I got older, I was like, wow, this makes a lot of sense. You do have to really think about, once you find out their intentions. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Do you, and this is a conversation I had with somebody else as well, do you think the further we get away from it, that eventually, and is it right, like, for it to feel like a history book? Like, and someone even brought up the like Pearl Harbor. It's terrible, but for us to not really understand, and we're not emotionally connected to it in the way we are 9/11 because we didn't live it, or like, you know what I mean? Is that okay? Like,
so with Pearl Harbor, I didn't even exist. I knew that it was a big deal. Heck, I even saw the movie with Ben Affleck, all of that kind of stuff. But it wasn't until I actually went to the monument, and I actually went to Pearl Harbor, and that actually did invoke a lot of emotion. Even just getting near to the USS Arizona just all of that kind of stuff, realizing what was underneath it, that evoked emotion. So maybe that's something, even when it does kind of become a memory, maybe it should be like a necessary field trip for somebody to, for kids to do once in a lifetime or something like that.
Yeah, to touch
just to remember where we came from, what has happened, and hopefully we can take steps to maybe not let it happen again.
I think it's our responsibility to make sure our children know, kind of like we're talking about, where we were and how it affected and some of the things behind it too.
Hopefully our kids will never have to, witness that or go through that or feel any of that, but they should definitely know that it has happened and it can happen.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it wasn't until I went to Hawaii where all of that, and I was just like, oh, this is gut wrenching.
Yeah.
So, and same thing when we just got back from New York and went to Ground Zero and all of that kind of stuff, and that made me physically sick to my stomach, just knowing everything.
When did you go? Whenever they had already built the One World Trade Center?
I just came back a month or two ago. So the museum, the Infinity.
Yeah,
well, I
I'm not
mean,
sure what it's called, but it's beautiful. Like, it's amazing.
It's powerful when you
It
see
is.
everybody around there, and you've seen people who have left flowers or something on that because they've lost somebody. You automatically want to cry. It's really intense.
Yeah, and sometimes it feels weird watching anything happen because it's like literally what's happening right now in this video. Like, should I be watching this? But I remember I've seen some people that have shared some stuff, this morning, and it's just it's crazy. It's crazy, but I think it is important to talk about, remember.
Oh, definitely.
And take time to reflect on those people who gave their lives. There was, and I shared this earlier as well, but there was a video I saw where, there was an impact, and then it was firefighters focused on them, and they were like, "Come on, let's go!" Like, we're gonna run into the where the problem is. There's a building, and there's
Did you hear about the new fire department, and New York City Fire Academy, who's graduating at the end of September? So the class that's graduating, 13 of those class members are children of firefighters who lost their lives on September 11th.
Wow.
Yeah.
That just gave me chills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's intense.
Wow.
It's a big deal. So,
Yeah.
And just, to realize that they were kids when that happened to their parents and they
Right.
still carried it through. I mean, it's amazing.
Man, like firefighters, I've talked to some local, like the chiefs and the assistants and people, but that's something that it's like almost like in their blood, and it's like a legacy because like the second, third generation firefighters, even that I've met in our area since, in the last couple of years, there's a lot.
There's, a lot of the people who affect our lives, whether it's teachers, firefighters, policemen, military, they're always underpaid, but we appreciate them so much. I mean, it's a breed of people that reach out and help. It's definitely a certain breed of people.
Yeah, to help.
Yeah.
And then run into a burning building or like
Exactly.
you see there's an issue and it's like, we have to do this. Like, come on.
It's amazing.
Wow. So we gotta we'll go on here in a minute, go back on the FM and touch on everything else and kind of remind people of all the stuff that's going on. Yep. So we're talking to Amy Reed and we're talking to Lauren with the chamber, talking about everything that's going on. So, hey, how is the chamber doing? Because I know there were some shifts and some stuff, and y'all are still awesome, doing a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, definitely. This year is our 50th anniversary. So we've been doing a bunch of fun stuff. The shrimp boil was huge and so much fun, and we got to give out a lot of 50th gifts and all of that. So yeah, with every event that we're doing for the rest of 2019, it's just extra fun and extra special and extra celebratory. It's really fun. And
Is
then
it a lot 50 themed? Like, is there too much 50 theme where
it's
you get
not
like sick of it?
50 themed. There's a lot of gifts, lots of free gifts.
Okay.
So every time we have an event, we're like, what else can we give since it's our 50th? So it's kind of nice, like Oprah, like
Yeah.
you get a
gift,
tumbler
and
and
you
you
get
get
a
a gift and you get it. Yeah, so it's pretty fun.
All right.
And 2020 is going to be even better. So yeah, it's just constantly, evolving and growing, and that's all you can hope for with anything.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. And Jessica is great. She's an amazing addition. She comes from Top Golf and Toyota Center, so she has plenty of experience.
Did we talk to her yesterday? There was somebody that
Yes.
that's who it was.
That's
Okay,
who it was.
cool. Because I was like, is Lauren here? They're like, well, no, whatever. I said, cool. Which one of y'all? If Lauren's not here, I said, which one of y'all is coming to talk to me tomorrow? And they're like, she'll be here. Lauren will be here. So that's fine. That's fine. I just need somebody so
I
we
was
can
working
share.
from home and texting everybody like, I will make it.
Yeah.
I might be sweating and I may have to run out a couple times, but I will be there.
Yeah. Very cool.
I'm not contagious though, so don't worry. It's all good. Just a little bit of the food poisoning.
Ouch. You want to share where it was from?
No, thankfully, it wasn't from any business, so everything's
From
good.
your own?
No.
Don't get Lauren's
Someone's
house.
going under the bus. Like, we have
You're
to
more
find
than
the
everything has been fine at my house. Thank you very much. So,
It's somebody else's house.
yes, it was
Okay.
somebody else's house. So, yeah,
Dang.
coming from restaurant business, I always like surgeon scrub and everything. 2 different cutting boards, all of that kind of
I didn't know that was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a restaurant. Yeah, I was actually filming at a restaurant, and there was color boards,
Yep.
and these people are always on the top of their game. But whenever you're filming and doing something in the kitchen, they're extra on top of the game, and we suggest that you should be all the time, anyways. But you're just aware. There's somebody with the photographer, like, okay, you're extra aware. So I realized, and the color cutting boards and some other stuff, I was like, I didn't know you you're
Food
supposed to do
allergies.
that.
Yeah, all of that
Yes.
kind of stuff. You don't touch anything. You don't. Oh,
When I'm cooking at home, hey, it's like, what?
cross contamination central.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, I got some chicken, some beef, just like same knife. I'm looking at it. Like, it doesn't matter. Just throwing it all in the same.
Sounds like my husband.
And yeah, my
It's a
wife's
hot
like,
mess.
you're not supposed to do that.
I'm weird about that too, though. I don't like touching raw meat, so I put on the really thick cooking gloves.
Really?
Yeah. I love eating and I love food, but raw meat just. I instantly think I'm gonna get a disease or something.
I'd eat it raw.
Granted, I really do love sushi. But
Yeah.
I don't have to touch it.
But you put gloves on.
Yeah.
Just use the chopsticks or the fork or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
I don't have to touch it. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, when I'm preparing stuff, gloves. Otherwise, I'm getting salmonella or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
I saw a video the other day. It said you're not supposed to rinse chicken, but I don't know if any, like, I didn't rinse chicken in the first place. And I was like, is
didn't
that a
either.
thing people are supposed to do?
I do rinse
Really?
chicken.
Oh,
Why
I've
are
never
you not
rinsed
supposed to?
It said because whenever you rinse it off, that you're just pretty much like spreading the contamination onto the sink, into everything
Oh, I
else.
clean the sink all the time.
Constantly. I clean
Yeah.
the sink. Yeah.
I don't
you not
know.
clean your sink?
Well, I don't.
Somebody does.
Someone does.
No,
Not me.
I didn't know that you were supposed to. I didn't know you were supposed to
always
rinse meat.
have. Yeah. Not meat, but
Yeah. Just
chicken and
chicken?
turkey, poultry.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is that
Yeah.
a rule?
I don't know. But I think my
I
mom
always
did
work-
it and I just did it.
I always worked at front of house in restaurants. So.
I don't know. It's one of those things I think I just saw it and kept doing
I think if
it.
you do it that way for forever, you're okay, and
Yeah.
it's
Well,
going
I
to
mean, I'm
change
not
next
dead,
year.
So I guess it's okay.
Someone
Not
else
either,
said
but now I'm going
rinse,
to start overthinking it.
rinse the chicken.
I have to do some research.
Yeah. The other thing, my wife, she will like cut it and trim it. I'm like, I like the fat. Like, what are you doing? Like on everything. I just throw it in there. I just like open it.
Yeah.
Psh.
That's how I am.
Yeah.
I just cut it off at the plate.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
It gives all the flavor while you're cooking. That's the way I think about it. Yeah.
True.
I'm kind of sensitive when it comes to meat anyway. So
Especially after getting food poisoning.
Yeah.
Well, that Impossible Burger on your other show, so good.
You've had it
Yes.
from Burger King,
Burger King.
and it's good. The Impossible
Yes.
Whopper.
And I like Beyond. I mean, shout out to Whiskey Cake and their Beyond Meat Burger.
they have
That
one
is-
too.
Yes, and that is. I hate to say this, everybody's gonna hate me, but that's one of my favorite burgers ever, and it's not even meat. It tastes delicious. Yeah.
Well, I was looking at the stuff that's in there, like me and Crystal were, but it looks like it's good stuff. Like it's decent stuff, and if you don't eat meat, it's a good option.
I just can't wrap my head around it. Just
It's so delicious.
I just can't wrap my head around
They
it.
say it tastes like meat.
They
Like
say that, but I think in my head I'm just going to think this isn't meat, and I don't even think I could take a bite.
yeah, my friend sent
know.
me a meme, and it was all the products in the Impossible, and then it said like another burger, and it was like meat, salt, pepper. Like,
Yeah.
these are the ingredients in a normal burger.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I do love meat.
I would try it.
Yeah, I do love meat. It just doesn't agree with my digestive system.
Sure.
So I do alternatives.
Do what you got to
They
do.
are delicious. Trust me. If it doesn't taste like anything close to me, I'm like, oh, how do people?
Just
how
call
do,
it something else.
Yes. I'm like, how do people live like this every day?
Let's go back on the FM right now. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Right now it is 10:42 on a Wednesday morning. I'm excited. We got the chamber here. We got Lauren and Amy hanging out with us. We've been touching on some of the events that are coming up, and we can remind you of those right now. So there's an event tomorrow. What is that event again?
That is Young Professionals, Handshakes, and Headshots. So a little bit of networking, a little bit of free professional headshots from A Reed Photography.
All right. And who's invited to that? Like, how old do you have to be? Like, how young is young? I'm 33.
So I love it when Jenny will say, okay, let's hurry up and get the age out of the way. So it's 21 to 40-year-old young professionals.
Okay, cool. So I fall in there.
You do, barely.
So if you're if you're 20, you're too young.
You're too young.
So 21
21
to 40, and that's that's a good age range
Yeah.
right there.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Part of being a young professional is either trying to grow your career position from where it's at, or learning how to get to that career position. So, and a little, some people after 40 are already kind of in their spot and loving what they're doing and all that. But we use those people, we use those members to mentor the young professionals.
Cool.
So,
That's exciting. So that's happening tomorrow, 5 to 7
Yep.
p.m. You were invited. Is there any cost to attend that?
There's no cost to attend Young Professionals tomorrow.
And that's at the chamber.
Yep.
Where's y'all's location if someone's never been?
So we are off of Emmerich F. Lowry And so basically in front of, or I guess in the same vicinity of Mall of the Mainland, we're in between Discount Tire and Popeyes.
Did you have the chicken sandwich?
So I have not had their chicken sandwich, and I feel like they're sold out.
They are.
So they're totally sold out. There was lines wrapped around our chamber.
The line is so long all the time.
For days. And then they slapped that sign on that said we were out of chicken sandwiches.
Be right back.
Ghost town.
Yeah.
Ghost town. But for the longest time, heck, even if we wanted one, we'd have to wait forever.
Man, that would have been a good opportunity to go and like knock on people's windows and hand out like,
Yeah.
have you considered joining the Chamber of Commerce? Have you considered joining the Chamber? Or like,
to remember that
we have
next
an
time.
event tomorrow.
They had a DJ out one day.
Really?
Yeah, they brought a DJ out.
Was he any good? Was he too loud? Were you guys like, turn it down?
Well, at
trying to
first,
work.
All we heard was bass. And I was like, is something going on with the chamber? What's going on with their building?
Okay, let's go. Yeah.
And I ended up walking out. I was like, oh, no, they're just having a Popeyes party. So,
A Popeyes party.
yeah.
I did not have the chance to try the chicken sandwich because I was on a pretty strict like diet at the time, and so I've been off it for like a week and a half. But I start again on Monday and watch. They're gonna bring that chicken sandwich
Right
back
on
on Monday,
Monday. Yep.
100%,
Yeah.
Pretty much.
without a doubt. So maybe I'll cheat.
I mean, as long as it's a good sandwich, I'll eat it.
Okay, cool. Amy, why do you like to like volunteer and do these kind of events where you're offering your services and no cost?
Community.
Mm-hmm.
So giving back to the community, working with the chamber. I work with the chamber both through the photography and through the Small Business Development Center. So I have a lot of relationships with them. But just giving back to the community. I work with a lot of the high schools in the area, some of the churches and Mother's Day Out programs, that sort of thing. So just makes you feel good when you give back to the community.
Definitely.
And you build relationships.
Yeah. With the Small Business Development Center, like what's considered a small business?
Anything. You were talking earlier about small businesses, just one person. So we work with companies anywhere from one person to hundreds of employees, anything from a craft in your home to manufacturing. So, as far as small business, it's not maybe like some of the big box or, those large recognizable companies, but we do work with a lot of the larger local companies.
Yeah, some local people.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And all of our services are free.
Really?
So, yeah, a lot of people don't know that. We do anything from business plans, marketing. We help you build your website, logos, all those sort of things. We can't give legal or tax advice because we're not CPAs or attorneys, but pretty much everything else we can help you guide. Or our mission is to start, grow, and succeed with your business. So
How do
we're
y'all
there.
keep that free?
We're a nonprofit, so we are a resource partner of the SBA, and we are federally funded through your taxes, and we're also part of University of Houston. So we have a lot of resources.
That's awesome.
And it's really nice so when it comes to the economic development of your community and your city, and when you want to see more things brought into your community and city, I mean it's a great tool for small businesses to have for sure.
That's
we
awesome.
try to do a lot of training too. So we offer classes like a lot of people are really good at cooking or they're really good at consulting, but they have no idea how to do the bookkeeping for their business. So we'll offer like a bookkeeping for dummies class or maybe a QuickBooks class, that sort of thing. So we offer the training as well as the one-on-one advisement.
That's awesome. And where do y'all normally have y'all's events or get-togethers?
Usually at our center in League City. We are partnering with the chamber for the Google event that's coming up, so that'll be at their facility. But generally, our training events are at our facility. We're almost on the corner of Highway 3 and 518 in League City.
Okay. Which corner?
It's we're 319 East Galveston Street.
Yeah, so it's like McDonald's.
We're right behind McDonald's.
Okay, right behind McDonald's.
Yeah.
Cool. And then I was going to say Danny D's because I like to play guitar. And so I'm like, I always, man.
We actually share the building with the League City Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, cool. There's no bad blood there between Texas City, Lamar.
We're
League
members of
City?
all 6 chambers in the county. So we try to work with all the chambers. We do events with Santa Fe or Galveston, whoever needs us to partner with them and bring our resources, or if we can help them, we work with all the chambers.
Who is the best chamber in the area? Who's helped you the most?
I'm not going to stop us to go there.
Who brought you on KHEA radio?
Texas City.
Okay, just checking. Making sure. Awesome. Very cool.
But we do ribbon cuttings with multiple chambers at one
yeah.
time. We
All the
do
time.
groundbreaking with multiple chambers at one time.
I've been to some, and there's like 3 or 4 chambers there. It's really neat.
The very
Yeah.
community, I think they're very,
Yeah.
it's not a competition.
Right.
I think they work together really well.
We have our focus on our specific community,
Right.
but we still help each other out.
Yeah.
And so many of their members belong to cross chambers. I think it's even more
Yep.
important that they do that, because you don't want a member who belongs to your chamber and then you talk bad about another chamber and they happen to be members too, and then things can get ugly. So it's good that they all work together so well.
Yeah. How do you all keep that non-competitive, I guess, atmosphere? That's tough. It has to be, because naturally people are competitive.
Yeah.
I think it starts at the top. I don't know if y'all agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything starts at the top.
It's the culture of the chamber, I think.
And I mean, yeah, that's the whole thing. I mean, we go to workshops together, we go to conferences together. I mean, all of the chambers, we all just kind of meet up and we're pretty cool with each other.
And shouldn't the goal all be the same at all of them, to grow Galveston
And
County?
that's the whole thing.
So-
I mean, even in Clear Lake, Webster, Pasadena, all of that kind of stuff. Our ultimate goal is economic development and for us to be advocates for our members.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, as long as we can do that across the board, it's pretty awesome.
And our goal is the same, to help
Yeah.
create jobs and capital into our economy. So we love partnering with all the chambers.
Awesome. And there's some other events happening. There's the one tomorrow, Young Professionals, 5 to 7 p.m. at the Texas City Lamarck Chamber of Commerce. And then there's one in October. And then can we touch on anything else happening for the rest of the year, maybe?
Women in Business is September 19th at the Fairfield Inn. October 2nd and 3rd is our golf tournament, which is always awesome and fun. Let's see. We have, Bayou Fest, which is the 19th. I'm working with the cook team, so I'll be there eating food 18th and 19th. But Bayou Fest with the city of Lamarck.
Always fun.
Clay Walker is the headliner, and then Shiny Ribs. And, man, it's going to be awesome.
It
It's gonna be
is.
super
It's always a good time.
I had to miss last year because we had an event here. But this year there is no event happening at KHEA, happening at Abundant Life. So my plan is 100% to be out there for Bayou Fest. I'm
It's
excited.
awesome. We have
it's huge.
It is.
We have amazing events too with our sponsors. So we have kids activity, we have the ACU Kids Zone, we have the fishing tournament, we have mutton busting, and then along with 3 bands that are going to be playing from, I think they start right at 4:30 all the way into the night. It's going to be a bunch of fun, and then we have a bunch of food vendors. I mean, it's a really good time.
Yeah.
So we could just kind of take over that whole part.
For sure. For sure. Is there anything else you'd like to share while you're here today?
I'd just like to mention the Google event one more time, that we have that on September 18th, 11:30 to 1. $10 covers your lunch, and you're going to learn great things about Google Analytics.
Cool. What's the best way? Because there's a lot of events, and I'm sure there's even more maybe that we didn't touch on or happening in the coming months. Where can somebody go to get that calendar to be able to follow everything?
So you can either go to our chamber website, and we have a community calendar where our members and ourselves post events. You can also check us out on Facebook. Our Instagram and Facebook tags are at TCLM Chamber. And and that's the same thing with our website, tclmchamber.com.
Awesome.
So-
Thank you, guys. Y'all are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Bye, Facebook. Y'all be blessed. Thank you.
Yeah.